Hi everyone, I'm Tabitha and today we're talking statistics. Now you already know that I am a self-proclaimed bookaholic. I am not only a writer, I'm also an avid reader. So it's not going to surprise you to learn that I set monthly writing and reading goals as well as yearly writing and reading goals. So today we're going to look at the statistics and the data, two of my favorite things, around all things book for me. I'm going to put helpful timestamps down below in case you want to jump around to any of the sections, but here's my basic talking points. First, I'm going to look at how my September broke down as far as writing goals, then how my September broke down as far as reading statistics, then I'm going to take a look at the year-long goals for writing for 2019 because we're 75% of the way through 2019 already. Then I'll look at how I'm progressing on my 2019 reading goals. And finally, I'm going to set my October goals based on how all of that comes together. Feel free to comment with any questions you think I didn't address or things that you're still wondering. Let's get to it. First up, my September writing statistics. My writing goal this month was to write 1,000 words per day. Basically, I write 5 days a week with taking 2 days off. This means that when I actually sit down and write, I'm still targeting that goal of 7,000 words per week. My 1,000 words per day allows me to write all 7 if I really need to, or to write more on one day so that I can have a day to rest. That's how it works, usually. But in September, I only hit my 1,000 word mark 11 times. In fact, in September, I wrote a grand total of 22,176 words. Part of the problem here may be my other writing goals, the ones that I don't have written on this nice infographic for you. I have a goal to post to my blog 2 times a month with short stories or scenes, and I only posted once this time, meaning I didn't actually write that extra blog post. I also have a goal to edit 2 chapters or blog posts per day. I didn't make that goal, partially because I wasn't posting to my blog enough, and partially because I was more focused on getting the draft I was working on done than I was on editing. I should mention, although it's not reflected in this goals, I did finish the draft of my magical YA. Whatever the reason, my writing average was only 739.2 words per day. That means I failed my writing goal, and my editing goal, and my post to the blog goal. Look, I'm over 3 already. So let's talk about reading statistics, especially because if you've already watched my September wrap-up video, you might be thinking I'm looking pretty good for the month. My reading goal was 150 pages per day. I typically read every single day. I also break down my anticipated to be read for the month. In September, I identified 7 books that I planned on reading, 3 of which were requested reviews or advanced reader copies that I had to get to. I hit that 150 pages per day goal on only 14 days this month. I did read a grand total of 8 books, 3,070 pages, which breaks down to 122 pages per day. 25% of what I read was independently published, which is kind of an unspoken goal that I have around here. I try to read at least 2 books per month independently published, and I did hit that this month. If I only tracked books, this looks good. There's 7 on the TBR infographic over there, and it says that I read 8. But if you go by pages per day, I actually failed this goal. And in fact, I didn't even read everything I set out to read. I read 5 that weren't even on my anticipated TBR, and 3 of them that are going to have to be carried over till October. So aside from saying that I didn't meet this goal, I would like to dig deeper into these statistics. Remember, if you're not a data person, you can use the helpful timestamps to skip right over this section. If you are a data person, there's going to be even more of this stuff posted to my blog. I'm going to be comparing my August statistics to my September statistics on my blog. So if you're interested in that, you can always check out the blog link once this video is over. Let's look at the books I read in September. 87% of the books I read this month were authored by females. That is unusual for me to have such a drastic difference between the genders. In fact, if I look at for the entire year, I'm pretty close to a 50-50 split. I read 4 books this month, each in the category of adult and young adult, and 0 everywhere else. Normally you will see me being really high in the adult and young adult categories, but I do tend to sprinkle in middle grades or children's. So it seems like this month, with only reading 8 books, I stuck to my favorites. However, in genre, this month I truly was all over the place. September sported an even number of contemporary science fiction and fantasy books, and I even threw in one mystery thriller and a historical fiction. I continued with my self-imposed ban on romance, keeping that at 0, although I will mention that's only romance as a main genre. If you watch my wrap-up videos, you know that most of what I read has side romance, and I actually prefer it that way. The release year's graph to me was the most interesting out of all of these this time. This is the first month in a long time where I've read absolutely nothing that was released prior to the year 2000. In fact, most of what I read in September was actually released in 2019. I'm sure this is a result of opening up my channel to review requests. And it'll be interesting how this breaks down when 2019 is at an end for the entire year. All of that boils down to these particular star ratings right here. Turns out there's an equal number of books that I loved and books that I didn't love, with only 2 books falling into the category. If you absolutely love data analysis like this, don't forget to check out the blog to look for more on it, which I will post after this video goes up. Let's talk about my year-long writing goals and how those are progressing. My first writing goal was to get Redeeming Jordan and Projection published without a hitch and available to purchase. And obviously that is done. My second writing goal was to finish at least first drafts of the entire Kingdom of Franz series. Books 1 and Books 2, Breaking Iselda and Redeeming Jordan, are of course available now. Book 3 is with beta readers and should have a title release coming here soon. In fact, fans of the Kingdom of Franz series should keep an eye on my Twitter this month, where there may be lots of spoilers and hints as to who is the narrator for Book 3. Book 4 has a first draft done, but that's all I've done with it. But I can't say that I've met this goal because Book 5 doesn't even have a completed outline. The outline is started, the outline needs to be finished, and then the first draft can be written. My third goal for 2019 is actually to get an outline done for something that isn't in the Kingdom of Franz series. Although Fran is one of my major focuses and one of my goals, I wanted to make sure it wasn't my only focus. So one of my goals is to get something else outlined. And actually that sort of happened by accident. In September, another idea came to me. It's not even a genre I normally write, and I'm not sure what will happen with it, but the outline is started. So right now I can't call this goal done, but if I end up deciding to keep this one, get the goal outline finished, then I can say I met it. So I'm on my way towards that goal. My fourth and final writing goal for the year has been to post 24 shorts or scenes to my blog. As of right now, I've posted 19 of them. I have no idea what I'll do with these short stories once I actually get them all on the blog. I have certainly played with the idea of doing an anthology or compilation, but there's no plans for that now. Right now, it was just a goal to get more fiction sort of samples out there for people who follow my blog to see. So if you don't follow my blog, you probably should. Right now, 19 out of the 24 for the year have already gone up. Let's talk about my year-long reading goal. My goal this year was to read 2 books per week, totaling 104 books. That seemed staggering before I started in January, but I'm happy to report I actually finished this goal. This is actually a theme for me in terms of year-long reading goals, actually. In 2017, I had a goal to read 30 books, and I actually read 50. So in 2018, I set my goal to read 50 books and blew that away by reading 102. So this year, I set the goal at 104, and who knows how far that one's going to go. I may actually have to set it higher in 2020, and you should follow me on Goodreads if you're interested in tracking that progress as I go. So all of this comes down to what am I planning on doing in October in order to have the rest of these year-long goals be on track. So after missing most of my goals in September, I'm actually going to keep those goals the same, the daily goals the same in October. So that means daily goals for October include 1,000 words written per day, 150 pages read per day, 2 chapters or blog posts edited per day, 2 fiction scenes or shorts to the blog by the end of the month, and weekly YouTube videos right here to this channel by the end of the month. Specifically in writing, I plan to focus on ironing out the details of that outline I talked about in order to see if I'm going to stick with it and make that the non-Fran outline in my year-long goal. I also need to look at the beta notes for book 3 and apply those to book 3 and get the changes made, which will get me my editing goal for the month. I also can look at book 4 because it's first draft done, but that's it. Get a little editing done on that. And of course, I need to finish the full outline for book 5 so that I can start on that draft for book 5. As far as specifics for my reading goes, my October TBR is going to include the 3 books that I didn't get to in September, 3 more review requests that I need to get to this month, and 1 that's on hold for me at my library. Okay, I think that is it for me and overloading you with all of the statistics about my September and the 75% of 2019 that has already gone by. Thanks for watching. Remember to leave a comment so I know that you're still here. Hit subscribe so you know when I'm back. Keep plotting the path to your dreams, and I will see you next time.